It has been a minute since I've caught up with you. Life abroad, having recently moved from London to New York City. Things I've learned and what you should probably know about New York City if you're looking to do the same or if you're already out here. So let's talk about it. Culture shock, cost of living, being out here compared to London. So while I say majority of my money goes to rent, and that's because I'm paying for convenience, being next to the train station and having a shorter commute to the office. Not shocked with the prices of rent out here. What I will say is get a renter's insurance. I pay $15 a month for renter's insurance and I sleep with peace of mind. And another insurance is healthcare. With my sponsorship, it comes with my visa, and so I have healthcare in place. And public transport is subway or the buses, and it costs $132 a month for unlimited rides. And if I convert that to pounds, it's about £100 a month. Grocery shopping, which I mentioned, for me, my grocery shopping a week maximum $80. Not much of a big eater at £60, which is okay if I'm being honest with you, as a single female cooking for herself. Shop at Trader Joe's, Whole Foods, and now that there's Aldi, I'm definitely going to check out the Aldi that's here. Sales tax, another thing. On items, beauty, fashion, shoes, etc., but not on groceries. You won't be taxed sales tax on groceries, but other items, yeah, you would. So that's another thing. If I'm being honest with you, it's not as bad for like things under $100. It is what it is. It's the US, that's their tax. New York City has their own tax, and that's another thing I've learned, that there's state tax, federal tax, and even what else? Clothes be taking my money, food, eating out, tip in. That's another expense living out here. Tipping is a thing. Now, coming from London, yeah, and going out, you usually get a 25% on your bill, which is not mandatory, so you can take it off or pay for it depending on how the service went. But being out here, you get your bill, they'll give you a receipt, you put your card with the receipt, and then they'll come back with another receipt of your bill, the amount that includes tax, and then they have a percentage of the tip, and they actually break down if you pay 25%, if you pay 20% or 15% or 10%, whatever, and then you tick and then you sign it. And sometimes the waiter could be there just waiting for you, either a receipt or actually on the device. They usually like bring a receipt or a device depending on the place. They bring a device where you pay and then they'll show how much tipping you want to give. Same thing with having a physical receipt or the device. And then sometimes the waiter will be there and you're just like, I mean, the service wasn't the best, but you feel low-key pressured to tip them. These are the cost of living, so like rent, grocery shopping, transport, food, clothes. Okay, 2 points before I end this video, because I don't want to ramble on, is being Black British and African out here. I have a different lens, and experiencing other cultures and them experiencing and getting to know me has been interesting. Okay, so the three cultures, Black British, we have a culture in itself, and that's when you are Black, either African or Caribbean, born in the UK. And then British, because you're born in the UK. Brits have a culture of their own. Black British have a culture of their own. And then being African, Ghanaian, and being in the UK and having that upbringing and roots and culture, that's a culture of its own. So I have three of that coming out here, and it's been so interesting. One, because when the Black Americans, when I'm around the Black Americans, specifically the African Americans, they'll be like, oh, you African? And it's like, I've never been told that, like back in the UK, like it's not a thing that we would say. amongst each other. But it's been interesting to like learn more about the history out here and just speaking to them and get to know them. A lot of you guys go to Ghana, which I love when you're telling me stories and how your experience has been in Ghana, because me, I've only been there twice, which is upsetting because I need to go there. The last time I went to Ghana was 2012, and that's not the Ghana that's now, like that people are going every December. Yes, and just integrating myself with the other African Americans, and then the Africans that are from a specific country in Africa, in America. They usually like go off, oh, they're Nigerian American or Ghanaian American or having a British accent. You have your perks, right? Leverage it. Leverage the accent, okay? Because they love it out here. They want to speak to you all the time. In fact, you should be start charging Americans, especially like the American English versus the British English. And that's another thing I've learned, is being out here and coming from the UK, so I know and learn the British English, and then being here the American English. For example, elevators or chips, or just their little phrases compared to the British English where we'll say lifts or crisps, has been interesting, but has improved my British English and how I pronounce my words, and it has made me over communicate, and that actually moves me on to navigating corporate America as a Brit. Different perspective. Forget the dry humor, forget your small talks and your little weekends, what you did, like going to after work, the pub. Like, it's not a thing out here. I feel like being in corporate America is as corporate as it can get. Like, when you talk about corporate, I think of America. Like, if you watch the show Severance, it's just so Severance. Sometimes I feel like, but it's not like that. But before moving out here and getting into corporate America, I was just thinking of the show Severance, which I really like. Do you know what? This whole experience has been eye-opening. I'm forever grateful that I was obedient and had that faith to just quit what I was doing back in the UK and take the plunge to move out here and go on this journey and actually share it with you, because I'm learning in real time and I just want to vomit all the information out to you, especially if you are coming from a background like myself where you're first gen, going to university, graduating and navigating this whole corporate space for the first time, and you have no connections, you're not a nepo baby, none of that. You know, like, there are tons of opportunities of you just being proactive. Like, all of this came from me just sending out a cold email. Funny, because me, I was just thinking of going to Manchester, but here I am in a whole new country. I've become a big advocate for just moving out of your hometown to really get to know yourself and experience life from a different lens, because you really don't know who you are and the version you can become from just changing your environment. I'll catch you in my next video. Subscribe, like,